Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to video number 66 of this 84-part series. Only 18 videos to go, I guess, I assume. This video is going to be a special one, as I'm sure all of my videos are. And it is on the topic of enlightenment, which is one of my highest goals, if not the only goal that I have here on Earth. It became very apparent to me at an early age that this human birth offers many limitations. And if you don't strive to improve yourself, you shall say, then you'll continue to remain stuck in the mud, so to speak. But there is a way out of this, and men have achieved it. Men like Webu Sayadaw, which is the next transitions video to talk about this man. Webu Sayadaw is, I believe Sayadaw is the name of a teacher. It's a title for a teacher in Burma. He was a Buddhist monk in Burma or Myanmar a long time ago, when they still didn't have colored pictures. I'll just say that. So he lived through the Great Wars, I believe, and died in I'm not sure when he was alive, but what's important is that he taught Ubakin. He taught this other person. His name was I'm drawing a blank on his name, but this Ubakin person, this master, he then taught Esen Goenka, which, if you know anything about Vipassana, Esen Goenka is the leader of the Vipassana retreats as we have them as it appears here on Earth. And that is very significant and important because that changed my life, that totally transformed my life, and I owe a great deal of gratitude towards this man. And when he died, and I saw a video on YouTube when his corpse being carried out, I cried. Uncontrollably I cried, because the debt of gratitude that I owe this man is unbelievable. So coming back to this Sayadaw, Webu Sayadaw, he was a Buddhist monk. He lived in Burma as a child, and he ordained as a Buddhist monk at a very early age. I believe when he was still a tiny tot. You would probably go to kindergarten at that age, but he ordained as a Buddhist monk. I have read a book on him many years ago, and I have not followed up on his history, but I will do my very best to recount from my memory what I have learned about him. But the significant parts I will definitely, they will be true. So he ordained as a monk, and he lived as a monk for his entire life. And at some point in his monkhood, people realized that he was fully enlightened, he was liberated. And so he got lots of attention. He became very famous in his village. And there's pictures of him, maybe I will include this in this video, there's pictures of him standing in a line with hundreds of householders, and they all are holding food in their hand. And Webu Sayadaw, because monks are of course not allowed to cook for themselves, they're not allowed to go and find their own food, they have to be reliant on the support of regular people. So there's a picture of him holding Webu Sayadaw holding a monk's bowl and walking in front of these lay people, and each one of the people there, they take a tiny little teaspoon of food and drop it into his bowl because they want the merit of being generous to an enlightened person. And of course, if they fed him spoonfuls of food, then his bowl will be overfilled by the time that the line was over. When it became clear that he was enlightened, people started to ask him different questions, and one of his top disciples, he desperately wanted to know where is the spot that he became liberated. And Webu Sayadaw said, disregard this is irrelevant, just continue practicing the meditation, continue following the precepts, and you'll get there. This is not important. But after some time, Webu Sayadaw came to this man and he said, this spot in the forest or in the wilderness or whatever, wherever he lived, he marked that spot and he said, you build something, whatever you want here. Build a shrine or a temple or anything you want. This is the spot. And that man built a fountain or a little pond, and it became as the Lake of Victory. It was called something along those lines. Truly, it is the Lake of Victory. And I tried looking for this picture online, but I couldn't find it. I saw it in a book when I was serving for a Vipassana meditation retreat in 2000. I don't know, when I was 19, so this was 8 years ago. And when I saw this picture, I could intuitively tell that there's something to it. This has light, this holds light. And this is the spot that he became enlightened. And if you have certain abilities, that spot that you attain liberation, it can acquire that same quality. So for example, the tree that the Bodhi tree is has that quality. And even the sapling that was removed from the Bodhi tree and taken to Burma, to the Webu Sayadaw Forest Monastery, there's a tree that is growing there, and it's taken from the sapling of the Bodhi tree, and that tree has remarkable properties. It was the most fantastic tree that I've ever seen in my whole life. So similarly with Sadhguru, in his previous birth as Sadhguru Sri Brahma, as he talked about in one of his videos, he walked up this mountain and told his disciples, this person is going to be back again, don't worry. And he walked up this mountain for the last time. He climbed to the very top, which is now known as the 7th hill, and he consciously excuse me, I'm recovering from a cold, cough. He left his body through the 7 chakras. And in earlier videos of Sadhguru, it is shown in the intro, this 7th hill, just on the left side. It's like 2 boulders. And I remember looking at that, and then later as it became more, as I got intellectual understanding of what that is, I could perceive, oh wow, this is what I was feeling, this intense energy. And that place encompasses the whole universe to me. So, as soon as I got in touch with the Buddha's teachings when I was 19 years old through SN Goenka, through Vipassana, I knew that liberation is what I have been wanting my whole life, and it is the most important goal. Nothing else matters. Not cars, not girls, not a job, not money, not status, not health even, or fitness, not even family, not children, not financial success or worldly comforts and happiness and pleasure and whatever you can attain in the world, and nothing matters. That is insignificant. That is minuscule to this goal of attaining liberation. And that's what I wanted. That is still what I want. I have overcome many barriers, or let go of many barriers, and still this is my goal, my purpose, and I have no doubt that I will attain this goal here on this earth, in this lifetime, in this body. I'm smiling because a soccer ball just came to me as I said go. And God forbid, if I were to die, then likely I would attain that at the moment of death, because that is the moment of realization for most people, as Sadhguru says. And I believe that to be true, and yeah, I believe that to be true. Because when you let go of the body, when the process of life is subtly leaving your body, you become aware, you become very wise and perceptive. So if you have some kind of spiritual attainment, you will realize the truth at the moment of on your deathbed. But As I learned this early in my research in the Buddha's teachings, I realized and understood that this is not what I want. This is totally the opposite of what I want. I desperately want to avoid this consequence, that I don't want to attain liberation just as the Buddha's father did on his deathbed. The Buddha's father, prevented the Buddha from exiting his palace and seeing the truth, the reality of old age, birth and death and sickness. And he had attained certain qualities, and you can't be a dumb person giving birth to a Buddha. And on his deathbed, he attained liberation. He attained nirvana, or nibbana. And that's not what I want. I made a clear purpose for myself that in this lifetime, I will attain the fruit of liberation as an early man, as a young person. I still am a young person. I have until the age of 32, because when my body fully matures. Not that my body hasn't matured yet, but in its energy, it will fully mature. Just as I mentioned, that it is my understanding and experience that anyone below 21 years of age is still a young adult. He is not yet adult. But 21, you're a full-grown adult. And then 32, 33, you're pretty much mature. So I'm still kind of like in between. So like a child almost. So yes, something I remember one of my good friends who was serving the Vipassana meditation retreat with. If you're wondering what this means, is there is a requirement for certain amount of people to cook the food and to clean the place and to do all the maintenance work for the people that actually sit and meditate. So I first got to enjoy the benefits of meditation, and someone cooked for me, and it's all on a donation basis. There's no paid people. And then they ask you to volunteer, or they don't ask you, but you have the option to volunteer. You have the choice to volunteer, and I chose to volunteer. And one of the people that I volunteered with, he told me that he was studying the Dhamma a lot, and the Dhamma is laws of nature. Studying the laws of nature a lot. And he said to me that people like us, you and me, householders, we would call them, or lay people, people that live in the world and wear regular clothes, we're like walking on a path towards enlightenment, towards liberation. But a monk is decided to sit in a sports car, get on the highway, and fast track his way to liberation. As soon as he said that, I thought for sure I'm going to be a monk, and I just need to go to where the monks are. I intuitively understood thanks. He complimented me on my kick, which is a good kick, if I don't say so myself. I used to play soccer as a kid, for fun. I enjoy soccer very much. I think it's one of the best sports I should play. I'll make an effort to play soccer. Put that on video here. So, where was I? Yeah, I intuitively understood that the place that I'm currently in, the meditation center retreat, it's slow mode, it's easy mode. But monks, they really are on the fast track to enlightenment. And then I did, put in a lot of effort to go to meditation, to monasteries in Canada and the United States and then other parts of the world. So that was that. So the point of this video is that if I do reach liberation, I will share this with you here. I'm not going to hide it. And also I will make sure to point that out. This is not going to be an insignificant place. It's not going to be a regular place. It will be something that either I have chosen, probably, and also I would like to energize it in a certain way that anyone for the next 100 years or more can walk up to this place and benefit from this energy.